There are 3 parts to this video. In the first part, I will be describing my personal educational philosophy. The second part will explore ethical elements of teaching life sciences. And lastly, I will be resolving a moral dilemma. Although I can see that there are value in most of the educational philosophies, I lean towards progressivism. This is a student-centered approach that focuses on the student and their peers, while engaging students in real-world problems. My personal values are peace, logic, and authenticity. They align with my educational philosophy in creating a safe, peaceful atmosphere for students to learn, where logic will help to keep discussions orderly. According to Brady 2011, being authentic in a classroom will positively influence classroom relationships. This will create an environment for students where they can also be authentic. In a student-based philosophy, developing values will be achievable. Peace and harmony are also important to me, and this will create a calm environment for students to learn in. One of my other personal values is logic. This will be beneficial in being a science class. It will enable me to logically explain concepts. The CAPS details are Grade 10 Life Sciences as part of the Environmental Sciences section. It can be found on page 33 and 34 and includes a discussion on the environment in terms of human activities. In a teacher-centered lesson, all of the information would just be given to students in a lesson and maybe a worksheet. This would mean a lot of information on ecosystems and human impact. Without practical experience and discussions, this will not be a memorable lesson for most students. A learner-centered approach could mean letting the students do a field experiment on ecosystems, but without proper guidance on what to look for and how to interpret the information. I think in this case, a combination of the 2 approaches would be ideal. Teaching the students the basics of ecosystems and the human impact on them, but also requiring a practical. Let them do a practical investigation on ecosystems nearby with proper guidelines, and then facilitate a discussion on the impact of humans on that ecosystem. This approach will enable students to remember the basics as well as form their own ideas as to human impact on the environment, hopefully inspiring them to be better stewards and citizens and caring for the environment. Lincoln and Holmes proposes a 4-step model to resolve moral dilemmas. Each step of the model builds on the previous one to lead you to making an ethical decision about a dilemma. In this case, Alex is a hard-working, well-behaved student that does well academically. During one of the exams, I see him copying answers from another student. If I report him, he could face serious consequences, but not saying anything would be unfair to the other students. The first step is to recognize that there is a moral issue. This could be a gut feeling that something is wrong. In this dilemma, the problem would be to report Alex or to overlook his copying. In this step, we have to evaluate choices and outcomes. We therefore have 2 choices: report Alex or leave it. Reporting him will most probably result in him being punished, but overlooking will be unfair towards the other students, keeping in mind that Alex has been a good student with no prior transgressions. This step involves the intention to act, after evaluating possible solutions and consequences. Here, the decision has to be made to do something or not. In this case, no action is also an action. In this case, I believe to speak to Alex and find out why he cheated will influence the decision, especially because he has no history of bad behavior. In the final step, we have to follow through on a decision and take action. In my opinion, the best action to take is to speak to Alex and find out why, but still punish him for cheating. If, however, he cheats again, there will be no other option than to report him. This unit has shown me how important my personal values are when teaching, and how they integrate with my teaching philosophy. The Holmes 4-step model to resolve an ethical dilemma is such a useful tool for classroom problems.